want to, we want to have this album orchestrated. Let's get David Campbell. I had watched a Muse making of. I watched it and it's like, who's this guy? Like that's he was conducting the choir and he was.
I remember he sent me his resume. I was like, oh my god.
It was kind of like,
this is like insane.
This guy would be great, and it was one of those things where, it's almost like it reminds me of applying for college. Like, I want to go to this school.
Yeah. We go to Harvard.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
Or Juilliard.
Right. I'm going to apply to one school, and that's what we did.
And he said, okay. We were like, oh my god. David Campbell said he'll do it. We were like, wow, amazing. He was so great to work with.
Yeah.
He's a really nice, kind of mellow guy. We've had some very long conversations with him, and but he just does the job so beautifully.
Yeah.
We started out and we thought we were just going to kind of write some music, maybe just lay down some basic tracks and then hand it to David and let him do his thing, which I'm sure would have been very nice. But of course we're so like crazy and we wanted to hear it, kind of like in its glory when we were in the studio. So we did our best to kind of like orchestrate it and use some nice synths and samplers and whatever to make it sound like what we wanted. Right. And knowing also that we would give it to David. I wasn't looking for my very like best string sound, whatever, necessarily. So we would do that, and then we would hand it to David and talk about, what we wanted to happen. So he we gave him something that sounded pretty cool, and then he did his magic. And one of the greatest things about what David Campbell does is he has so much experience in this business that he knows when we would give him stuff, he would say, oh, well, okay, this we can do with these people in Prague, and I'll get this conductor, and I'll get this cellist, and I'll get this guy, and he knows where to do it and who to use and how to schedule it, and he's just like amazing at that. Yeah. He was able to totally make this happen. Using somebody like that is beyond just asking somebody to do an arrangement. Certainly he can do an arrangement, he did it beautifully. But just his experience and his musicality.
He pointed, that's the gospel choir we'll use. We had different things on this album that are, in addition to the orchestra and choir, we had like a marching band. There's a Dixieland saying. It sounds funny, but you got to hear the album. Right. There's a bagpipe guy. He just knew every guy. Oh, we need a banjo guy. We need a mandolin guy.
Yeah, I know this guy will bring.
And that was huge. That's just as much of an undertaking as this whole story thing we're talking about was organizing all that. Because again, with every aspect of this album, there was just so much music.
Right.
So everything was like a huge undertaking.
Right. Just keeping track of all that. Yeah. I mean, for you as the producer to have to not only write the music and write the story, but then to have to deal with like the orchestra and to talk to David Campbell and make sure everything is going on schedule. People don't know what. They have no idea what like is happening on that level. Because there really is so much detail work.